Going on, people, we are Tottenham TV. Spurs have just drawn here by one goal apiece against Fulham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and I am absolutely fuming, absolutely livid with that performance. Once again, a massive opportunity for Spurs to kick on after the Man City game last week, and we failed to do it from every single aspect. I'm here with Amir, and yeah, I just can't get over how poor we were. We were absolutely shocking. It was actually a embarrassing display today. It really was. Fulham, we got away with it. Just at 1-1, we got away with it. Fulham were destroying us time and time again. Down our right-hand side, their left-hand side. Porro was nowhere to be seen for the majority of times that we were defending. Too easy to bypass us. And when you're talking about building up from the back, when you're talking about trying to attack them, we had nothing. We were a blunt knife today. We were an absolute blunt knife, and we could not hurt them in any sort of aspect. Yeah, we created a couple of chances here and there, but when you're talking about clear-cut chances, actually penetrating passes and breaking them down, we were nowhere to be seen today. It was an absolutely shambolic display from Tottenham. Absolutely shambolic. When you start talking about Spurs having the upper hand being at home, before the Ipswich game, we were saying, anyone can come to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and we'll beat them. Well, since then, we've lost to Ipswich, and now we drew with Roma, and now we've drawn with Fulham at home. It's nowhere near good enough, Tottenham. Marco Silva completely outdone Ange Postecoglou on the tactics today. He really did, because Ange had no answer. Spurs, the players on the pitch, had no answer to what Fulham were going to throw at us today. And we can't keep doing this, Tottenham. We cannot keep doing this, having an amazing result against a big side, and then a so-called smaller side we play, and we just look completely lackluster, blunt, and no passing rhythm in the play, no attacking impetus, looking slow, looking lethargic. Another game after Europe where we can't do anything. That's 4 in a row now where we haven't won, and we got lucky to get the draw today because Fulham were by far the better team. They should have won, and it was an absolutely shambolic display, and I've had enough. I've absolutely had enough of seeing these performances. It's too often now. It's way too often. You're looking at the teams around us. They're winning. Brighton, 6 games in a row, they've won. Manchester United, new manager. They tore Everton apart today. Chelsea, 3-0 today. And we have to sit here and watch a draw against Fulham. And look, don't get me wrong. Fulham played really well today. Marco Silva's a good manager. Fulham are a good team. But we've got the better players. We need to be stamping our authority. Kulusevski came on with half an hour to go. I thought it was a little too late. I mean, it wasn't a little too late because the game was still there for us. But once he came on, we created absolutely nothing. Changes need to be happening at half time. But it's just absolutely disgraceful to keep churning out these performances every other week. We need to be consistent. We need to show what we're about. When we're good, we're bloody amazing. But when we're poor, we are literally one of the worst teams in the league. It's disgraceful, man.
We are consistently inconsistent, and that is just the way it's been for as long as I can remember. And, you know, you say about these games, the Ipswich, the Palace, and it's infuriating because you know that we can play so much better than what we do, what we did today. And when you know you can go up and you can beat teams like Manchester City up at the Etihad 4-0, it makes performances like today that feel even more frustrating. You come away even more annoyed because we weren't even at, I would say, even at 20 or 30% of what we can do today. And we'll get into the reasons to why we think that maybe is. But overall, you have to look. I think, you know, Ange, I think he got a few things wrong today, but I think all the players really need to have something to look at there as well, because for me, there was a lack of urgency from the whistle. There was also a lack of, or a willingness to close down crosses, close down their defending. Everything we did against City, basically, we didn't do here against Fulham. Against City, every ball we were closing down. Every second ball we would be first to the ball. Here, complete opposite. And I don't quite know what it is. You know, you said, 4 out of the last 4 when we played Thursdays, we don't get results?
That's, the last 4 European games now. We've lost the last 3, and this one, the 4th, we drew.
So I think that something needs to be looked at there. Ange needs to address that, because there's an obvious pattern there emerging for me. And one of the things that I noticed from today is that, we did look a bit leggy. We didn't have enough energy. The quickness wasn't there in our movement, in our passing, and we never really got going. Even when we went 1-0 ahead, it was kind of like a bit of a fluke, if you know what I mean.
It was completely against the run of play.
Yeah, it was completely against the run of play. It was a good little ball in from Werner, and yeah, great finish from Johnson, but he just happened to be free there at the back post. You know, if he was being marked there, then that chance might be getting cleared. We did have a few other chances in that game, but they more came from Fulham being so sloppy, misplacing a pass and then letting us in. Overall, a really, really infuriating performance from Spurs. And I don't really know where we go from here, because if you can't get points in games like these, in games like Ipswich, in games like Palace, in games like Brighton, where you're already ahead, then it really doesn't help. Even if you are beating a City, or you're going to go out and beat a Man United and a Villa, and it doesn't help in the long run. You're still not going to get anywhere up that league without picking up points against the smaller clubs, or so-called smaller clubs.
Yeah.
So it really does leave me bewildered, really, at where we go from here, Ben.
Yeah, and I see excuses saying, you know, we can't handle 2 games in a week, the injuries and the squad's thin and all that kind of stuff. But if that's the case, then why did we play such a strong team out on Thursday night? I know we needed to win the game and it's an important competition for us, but it's just going to hurt us in the long run. It's just going to hurt us game by game. You need to manage the squad better.
Yep.
And I thought that we were managing the squad good up until last week. We looked leggy on the second half on Thursday night. Yeah. We looked leggy then. So I was saying after the game on Thursday night, this has got to be a major concern, because if we're looking leggy with a really strong team out this early on in December, it doesn't bode well for the rest of the month. And there you have it. We've gone and dropped points the next game.
Maybe the solution is to just let some more of these kids play on a Thursday. I don't know.
But that's what we were doing. And then he didn't do that on the weekend. Bergvall was on the bench.
Yep.
Obviously, Lancashire couldn't play. Gray did play.
Yeah.
But I just don't think there's enough. I don't know what it is, but I can't keep blaming it on Thursday, Sunday when it happens. It's happening every other week at the moment.
Look, the Thursday, Sunday thing, it's a factor, right? But it's a factor that as a squad, as a team, as a club, we need to get over. That's a reality of life now until we come out of that Europa League, which hopefully we won't for a long time. But we're going to have games all the time. Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday.
For the rest of the month.
For the rest of the month. So you need to be prepared for that. If I know I'm going in to work and I've got crazy 5 days in a row, shift after shift, I'm going to mentally prepare myself for that. It's not the same as if you go in and you know you've only got, it's a couple of days and then I'm off for a few weeks. You know, that's fine. So why are we not preparing ourselves for this eventuality? I don't quite know. I also think that we could have done more tactically today to try and change that game. For me, we were crying out for changes at half time. They were a bit slow in coming. Did the changes that we did make give us an opportunity to win the game? I don't think so, because even when they went a man down to 10 men, we didn't create. It's not that we flooded their box with 5, 6, 7 players and creating chance after chance. I said 5 minutes before the end of the match, we'll get another big chance. We didn't, because we weren't applying any pressure.
I couldn't see it coming.
No,
I just couldn't see it coming.
We weren't even.
We could have played for another hour on that pitch and we probably wouldn't have created a chance. There was not enough creativity, not enough goal. When we do get the ball, there's not enough movement as well.
No.
I feel like Marco Silva just did a number on Ange Postecoglou and he couldn't figure a way around it. You know, they sat in so compact and they were tearing us apart down that right-hand side. What does it take? Pedro Porro, right? He had a stinker on Thursday night. He had a stinker again today. What does it take for Jed Spence to come and have a go? Like every time Spence has come on, he's looked like really good, man.
One of our best players in pre-season as well.
Yeah, I would have brought Spence on early in the second half, man, because it's just too easy to bypass Porro. It's just way too easy. How many opportunities did they get from just skipping past Pedro Porro?
Yeah,
time and time again it was happening. And
it's true.
Andrew's got to realise, like, you can't play the same players every single game.
Well, he realised it because he put Kulu on the bench, but he didn't put enough of them. We didn't have enough legs in that
Ben Davies stood up to the challenge today. I thought Ben Davies probably our best player again today. How many times are we going to talk about Ben Davies being our best player? And where is everyone else?
Yeah.
I thought everyone was poor. Timo was probably our most creative outlet, and he went off. Maddison was pretty much nowhere to be seen today. Pape Sarr, I thought, put in a shift. Udogie was okay in spits and spurts, but Porro down that right-hand side, I thought was tragic today. Brennan Johnson, apart from him being found at the back post, I thought he was pretty anonymous.
Quiet, yeah.
Sonny, unfortunately, didn't have his best game. I don't think it was the right game for him to be as a striker. I thought maybe Kulu probably should have started in the 9 slot with Sonny starting out on the left-hand side, but.
So in that case, do you think Ange got this one wrong then? Do you think this one's on him more than the players?
I think it's a whole heap of problems. I think the players have got to be standing up to the challenge better, because when you're getting the ball, you've got to see some movement. You've got to see some ingenuity. You've got to see something. I saw nothing out there today. Yeah. And the manager has also got to take the flak because he got completely out-tacticked by the opposite bench.
Yeah.
And this thing keeps happening every other week.
I will say, I feel like this one is more on Ange than the players, because I think Ange had this Thursday-Sunday thing to deal with, and I think he's gotten it slightly wrong, because we've come out with a draw and a draw, which doesn't really help us in either competition. So can he learn from it? Can he learn for the next time? Will we see maybe a more changed squad in Thursday before a big game on Sunday? I don't quite know. But overall, very, very frustrating early afternoon here in North London.
The reality is, before the game, Dom Solanke pulls out, and he was a massive miss for us today.
Huge miss.
Massive. That focal point, that guy that can hold up the ball, the aggressive, the leader of the press. I mean, we missed him massively today, didn't we?
We did. We missed him immensely. What he brings to that team in terms of work rate, in terms of holding the ball up, is phenomenal. And a lot of it goes so unacknowledged, really, half the things he does for the team. So I'm hoping this is just one of those kind of quick viruses, and he's back for Thursday, because we need him against Bournemouth. We really do. And, you know, with all his experience down there, we really need him down there, big time, because we need a result.
We talk about like the injuries Spurs have at the moment, and we do have a lot of them, right? We've got Mickey van der Ven, Coutinho Romero, Vicario, Solanke. You know, Gray went off injured today. There's a lot of players out injured. But I'm sorry, with the players that we had on the pitch today, it was more than good enough to win. More than good enough to show a lot better performance level than we showed today. You're talking about Porro, Udogie, Spain and Italy internationals, Ben Davies is Welsh's captain, Radu Dragusin at the heart of Romania's defence, who played an unbelievable game at the Etihad, Bissouma, Mali's captain, Pape Sarr, unbelievable player, James Maddison, we all know about him, Brennan Johnson, Son Heung-min, Timo Werner. That 11 is more than good enough to beat Fulham at home. I'm sorry. As much as, you know, Fulham are a tough outfit, I'm not discrediting Fulham for the job that they do and the team and the way that they played today.
Well, if anything, they should have won.
They should have won. They should have won. And they should be coming away from this game disappointed that they didn't win, because they were the better team.
I think they will be.
We should be counting our lucky stars, actually. We got a point out of this game, because we were nowhere near good enough. We were not at the races today.
But, yeah.
And you look at it now. Look at the games that we've got coming up. We've got Bournemouth away Thursday night. And if we look leggy tonight, we're going to look leggy again on Thursday. What changes does he make there? After Thursday night, we've got Chelsea at home.
What do you do then? What does Ange do for Bournemouth? What do you do?
I don't know. I play Spence. Spence has got to play first and foremost, in my opinion. Decky will start.
Some fresh legs.
Hopefully Dom will be back. Dom will be rested.
Freshen it up a little bit. Give some players a rest that have been tiring themselves out. I can see that. I would even, you know, this might sound left field, I might sound like a madman, but honestly, we got some of these young players there. We had Lancashire on there. Why not just stick him in there at half time where it's 0-0, we're not looking like scoring? Put on a goal threat. Put someone on that is gonna have an impact, who will run around, who will, you know, chase everything down. You know, we saw against Galatasaray what he's capable of. He knows where the goal is. So why not stick him in there? I don't understand. I don't really understand it, but we'll see. We'll see how we get on South Coast on Thursday. We need 3 points down there. And again, a point is not going to help us. Bournemouth are a great side. And it's going to be a very, very tough night.
It's just really frustrating, isn't it? Because you're looking at a team that's supposed to be kicking on from last season. And I think for the most part, the performances have probably been better than last season. But with these performances creeping in, and it's not the first time we've seen this kind of performance from Spurs this season. We saw it against Ipswich. We saw it against Crystal Palace. We saw it in the first half against Galatasaray. You know, we're seeing it creep in a bit too often now. And look, we got to pick it up very soon because we got games coming thick and fast. And if we go on a big losing run now, I dread to think what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. No, I fully agree.
But there you have it, guys. Spurs have drawn by 1 goal apiece to Fulham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium today in a shambolic display, shambolic performance, in my opinion. We deserved to lose the game. And we got a goal from the run of play. And we didn't even mention, you know, they go down to 10 men, right? They're going down to 10 men with what we had 10 minutes left to play, 10. Just a bit over 10 minutes maybe.
More. Yeah, a bit more.
And we did nothing. We did nothing after they go. We had a man advantage and we didn't even create a chance. Couldn't even take a shot.
And this is where something needs to be tweaked, right? There's something not right in the system. If you can't create chances against 10 men with all your best players on the pitch with 10 minutes to go, then something's not working. That's all I got to say.
Match stats: 51% possession to Spurs, 49 to Fulham. XG: Fulham got a 1.38 XG and we got a 0.65.
It doesn't surprise me, Ben. You think you cast yourselves back to all the chances they had. Iwobi hitting the bar. They should have been clear. They could have scored on another day. You know what? They could have beaten us 4-4.
And you know what you say about, you know, Ange and all this, you know, you blame it more on him, but Ange ain't telling them to keep passing it back and safe and not make any runs. I tell you that.
No, he's not. But these players look gassed to me. They look like they don't have anything left in that tank, Ben. So for me, the tiredness of the players is how Ange is managing them.
But why? Why don't these players have energy in the tank? Why?
It's a good question.
Like, we've just had an international break. We've just had an international break. Pedro Porro played 1 game in that international break. Destiny Udogie came on as a sub twice. You know, Maddison didn't even go on international break.
Look, this is a thing for a whole other stream and topic. But I personally, I do think, even though you're saying, you know, a player Porro only played 1 game for Spain, but he flew out there. He had to fly back. He had to go here. He had to go there. I think that these players are knackered. It's not even halfway through the season. You're seeing it, injury after injury after injury. Players are dropping like flies, Ben. I think there's too much football. But that's for another stream.
They had 3 big chances to our 2 big chances. They had 14 shots to our 8. Fraser Forster, by the way, he played a really good game today. He saved us. He saved us a number of times today. He made 5 saves today, by the way. And Leno was forced into 2 saves. 11 corners to Fulham, 7 corners to Spurs. And yeah, just 3 shots on target for Spurs, 6 shots on target for Fulham. So, I mean, those stats back up the eye test because they deserve the win today. Fulham. Spurs were not good enough. And it's hard not to be overly negative after... It's not even just this performance in isolation. It's just the current theme of what we're having to watch at the moment as Tottenham Hotspur fans. Like, it's just madness how you can go up to the Etihad and win 4-0 and then churn out something like that.
It doesn't quite equate. But it didn't quite equate when we were at the Etihad and you could see us winning. It didn't make sense with what we saw against Ipswich the week before. Like, something just doesn't quite add up with this club. And I think it's like Jekyll and Hyde. That's who we are at the moment. You never know who's going to turn up, which Tottenham.
Yeah, and we got to sort out. We got to sort out fast if we want to be in this top 4 race come the end of the season. We need to sort it out fast.
I don't think we're in it, to be honest.
No, neither do I, to be honest. Neither do I. But you know, how are you going to realistically go and win a cup as well if these performances are just around the corner? Like on our day, we can beat anyone.
Well, this is why I think we've actually got a chance in the cup.
But our day has to come. We got to get lucky for our day to come in each and every
100%.
cup tie.
But if you look at that League Cup, we got what, quarterfinals?
Yeah, Man U in the quarterfinals.
So you just need to turn up the way we did against City in 2 games, and you're in a final, and then you just need to turn up for that 1 game.
Easier said than done, my friend.
Oh, don't I know it.
But anyway, we're going to move on to the post-match fan show, where it is your chance to have your say.